My dad drives a Chevy Suburban, and my name is Trevor. My dad is on the school board, and he told me that I don't have to take the presidential fitness test. My dad drives a Suburban, and I'm allowed to eat steak-um cheesesteaks with ketchup instead of taking my midterms. My dad takes me to school in a new Chevy Suburban, and instead of reciting the preamble to the Constitution, I recited the opening office scene to Grim Fandango. And my teacher thanks me for participating. 1998 Chevrolet Suburban. Look at this mint interior. Butt rubbed seats, melted armrests, stained carpet, and everywhere, human goo. Crusty. I can smell the other dad farts. Crusty. So, okay. Growing up in the late 1990s, my family was a Mopar family. So Chevys were, to me, cars driven by other families. Hey, like, my mom's busy. Can your mom take us to the mall? When other families drove me around, usually to the Schuylkill Mall, we're better than ever. We're better than ever for you. We're better than ever. We're better than ever. It usually wasn't a General Motors product. And General Motors products had a different smell than Mopar products or Ford products.
So the smell of a 90s GM vehicle is the smell of somebody else's dad.
Yeah, it's like that weird, like, kind of almost wet, humid leather smell.
It's a wood paneled basement. It's
right.
That, you know, you can run the dehumidifier all you want. It's not going to do anything.
We had dozens of GM vehicles growing up, and even the newer ones. We had a Hummer H2 that had that same exact, like, wet leather and almost like a damp wood smell.
Yeah.
So the Suburban was the pinnacle of what every rural PA dad wanted, even if practicality demanded a minivan or a pickup truck. Other dads, mine included, talked about this limo-length rolling manifestation of the father provider. I mean, even my dad used to say, you know, the minivan's always better. Those Suburbans, I'll bet those eat gas. My second generation Dodge Caravan gets better gas. And you could fold the seats down. It's like, yes, you can do that. This thing tows stuff. And he did recognize that, well, I'll bet that thing can tow stuff. And dads would look at Suburbans and fantasize over all the people that they can fit inside and still hitch up a utility trailer. And off they would travel to a church picnic or a family barbecue or a long weekend in Wildwood, or if you don't drink, Ocean City, New Jersey. And they would arrive like a conquering hero or a commander relieving a battalion. Well, everybody, we're on a mission, says your friend's dad as you set off for 5 beach days of don't run and settle down and now just wait, with some "are you having fun?" thrown in there for flavor. The engine, gaze at it, and toothpaste tube your cum out. There it is. It's the pub burger of V8s. The Yingling Lager of V8s. The AC/DC shook me all night long of V8s. The oral sex and cigarettes of V8s. The John Philip Sousa at a Memorial Day community picnic. The small block Chevy. 5.7 liters or 350 cubic inches of that'll do. This is the Vortec L31. This is one of the last iterations of the Chevy small block. All right, so Chevy, when car people say, if you're already a car person, you understand this. When they say Chevy small block, they're not referring to LSs in shorthand. They're referring to the stuff that started in the 50s and ended in 2003. Now, there's lots of versions of them. And this one is called the L31. It makes 255 horsepower at 4,600 RPM and 300 to 350 pound-feet of torque at 2,800 RPM. It ugga-chuggas everywhere with almost a half-century of production behind it. And in 2003, these 1950s engines were finally retired. Now, of course, started carburation and spider fuel injection, throttle body fuel injection, finally some sort of version of port fuel injection. And it's not the same engine through all the years. Bolts change, guts change, but like Batman, the essential story remains. Now, attached to the rear of this L31 is GM's controversial 4L60 4-speed automatic. Controversial because all the big power LS folks break 4L60s when they strap on an eBay Hurricane to their LS and go for 600 plus horsepower. And then their next forum post is asking how to rebuild a 4L60 to take more power. And all the replies are dated troll-faced JPEGs saying, should have got a 4L80! And to prove my point, this Suburban is on its second 4L60. Now, the 4L60 is an adequate transmission for general purpose use. And yes, plenty of companies make tough actin' to napkin build kits for 4L60s. But if your intention is to stunt on everybody in Allentown, Bethlehem Easton, or Scranton Wilkes-Barre, or Harrisburg Chambersburg, because God forbid a Pennsylvania town has to stand on its own, you're going to need the larger 4L80 transmission to handle your turbo and decapped injectors and a custom map you made yourself because you know better than Matt Happel. Anyway, I haven't come fully hard since I started vacuum pumping. What? I gotta get out of rural Pennsylvania. I'll eventually leave these Appalachian mountains, and RCR will have a different backdrop. I'm a youth pastor with a Chevy Suburban. It's 1997, or 1998, or even 1999. And in 20 years, I'll have to answer some difficult questions about how I spend my time in this community. But until then, who are you gonna believe? Me? Or Timmy, who's in the emotional support class? I'm a pillar of the community. Girl Scouts know me by name, and parents come to me for help explaining the divorce to the children. I drive a Chevy Suburban. Now let me turn this chair around and sit on it backwards and rap to ya about the dangers of holding hands. The Chevy Suburban, or as search engine optimization would have it, the Chevrolet Suburban, is a big ride for a small town with bigger secrets. The embezzlements, the money laundering bakery, the money laundering bridal warehouse, the money laundering nail salon, the money laundering nature and discovery store, the money laundering baseball card shop, the money laundering tattoo parlor, the money laundering hair and nail salon, the dope growing plant nursery, the constant affairs all over town, a perfect storm of venereal illness and infidelity, like an electric lineman getting with a recent nursing graduate. The Chevy Suburban just screams small town and American values, and, "Sir, get out of the car," and, "Your Honor, my client invokes his Fifth Amendment rights against self-incrimination." It's very workman in its simplicity, very American in its largesse, and very self-important. And you know why? Because it's the longest running nameplate in American automotive history, longer than the Corvette. The Suburban name has been around since 1935. The Hoover Dam wasn't even completed yet when the first Suburban came out. Stress wasn't even an officially published, academically recognized biological condition yet. The Suburban nameplate is older than chocolate chip cookies. The Suburban nameplate is older than the chocolate chip cookie. Good Christ. We didn't even get General Tso's chicken until 1955. 1955. the first year of the Chevy small block. The Suburban is so old, working on an original from 1935 makes you an honorary doctor of paleontology. Now granted, GM didn't actually trademark the name Suburban until 1988, 10 years after the Plymouth Suburban was discontinued. But it was worth holding out for because the Suburban ended up being absurdly successful. It has some of the highest loyalty ratings in the automotive industry. A Car and Driver report said that some 75% of people who buy a Suburban and remain in that segment end up buying another one. But it also makes sense if, rather than thinking of it as a car you drive when you're waiting for the K9 unit to arrive, you instead think of the Suburban as a middleman between rural anxiety and urban mistrust. City folk view something like this with suspicious contempt because there's no need for anything like this in their lives. And yet there's a certain reverence for having something big and imposing. Meanwhile, rural types might see this as something unnecessary when compared to their pickup truck or work van, only to give it a chance and find that it's better than either when it comes to what they need their truck van monolith to do. In that way, the Suburban is the kind of car that a wide demographic of people actually agree on, because it has 4-quadrant appeal. Male under 25? Sure. Woman over 25? You bet. Woman under 25? I mean, why not? Do you know how many women prefer big cars with a tall ride height and good visibility? I would think it was as true in the 90s as it is now. This has great visibility, barely any blind spots, and it's got ride height that's substantial but not excessive. It's perfect for not hitting the bollards at Wawa. I'm not saying it's the best car you can get in this segment because the Toyota Sequoia exists, but the revs hang low and it cruises at just 1,500 RPM. And it's durable as hell. It's currently sitting around 317,000 miles. And it'll probably go for, maybe another 80. I think the piston rings are still good. The previous owner put work into this until the rear brake lines gave out, so they gave the title to a shop owner. The owner was going to scrap it, but chose instead to sell it here to Ned for $300 rather than give it to the scrap guy who just wanted to chop it up and sell the catalytic converter. I mean, at the time of the sale, it had $70 worth of gas in it and some tools, but Ned was able to get this Suburban up and running again. Aesthetically, it's not much. Has a smelly GM interior.
Hey, Sharon, we don't need to get a new truck. It's gonna smell new now.
This thing.
I'm guessing it's some kind of clipboard. I usually put my phone like this for GPS, and it'll usually stay like that if I'm on the highway.
What exactly are you supposed to write down?
So you sign the ticket when you get pulled over.
Yeah.
And
it's just for you over there, not for me.
The coin holders. Of course, with inflation, that's completely useless. That used to be, or there's supposed to be a CD tray, but that's how I got it. It was full of trash and Chick-fil-A sauce, so I haven't replaced that part yet.
Yeah, your coffee goes here and your whiskey goes here.
So you got heater controls for the back, but you can only control them up here.
Actually, if you do this, there is a second control here, which the rear passengers can operate, but the driver has the ability to override.
It's just like some dads that, no, I'm in control. I'm in control. My dad didn't know how to be a father, so now I need to buy a truck that I can override. I let him know that I'm in control. I'm gonna put rats in your head the second you try to buy a house. The door latch is barely hanging on, and you practically need to remove the entire front belt drive to reattach the intake plenum. But it holds up well for a car who's been around for, decades, and whose name has been passed around like unrealistic rumors or slow news day in junior high.
I heard Tommy Fenstamacher takes fall damage from sitting down. I heard Tommy Fenstamacher went to the nurse for second aid. I heard Tommy Fenstamacher keeps emergency bacon in his gym locker. Oh, come on, you're lying now, man, come on. I heard Tommy Fenstamacher pre-soiled his sleeping bag before going to sleepaway camp. What? Ew. I heard Tommy Fenstamacher listens to prescription music. Oh, come on, dude, you're making that up. I heard Tommy Fenstamacher flunked study hall. I heard Tommy Fenstamacher's dad loitered outside Best Buy during the purge and lived. Dude, no way. Well, I heard Tommy Fenstamacher snuck into a movie to watch the local ads. Come on down to Kunkleman Chevrolet. We have Suburbans. We have towns and countries. We have cyber trucks. Or are they just regular trucks with hammered panels and aluminum foil? We'll never tell. Good credit, bad credit, no credit. Give us your last born. We know he was an accident anyway. We need to replenish the Kunkleman family with fresh blood. New, old, used, like new, not stolen, slightly modified, catalytic-free Chevy Suburbans are back in stock, starting at just $11,275.60. Did you know the Suburban is popular in Canada? It's so popular if a rapper drove this, his name would be A$AP Hockey. Work that curling arm and grab a box of Timmy's at Kunkleman Chevrolet, GMC Oldsmobile, Isuzu Rivian. Do you love attention? Do you love attention? Do you love attention? We have ND Miatas, NB Miatas, NA Miatas. Is that enough of a spotlight for you, Dave? It's the official car proposing at somebody else's wedding. We have jailbroken, unauthorized, entirely speculative Rivian models that run on old Tamagotchi pets and prayers to the Church of Internal Combustion. Renounce your faith at Kunkleman Chevrolet, GMC, Honda, Bacardi, and Cola, Subaru, and Brezza. Don't like Suburbans? Think you're too cool for a car your cornball dad drives to swap meets on a Sunday afternoon? Don't think for 1 minute you aren't heir to a legacy of cringe. It's your birthright. Just like your business and your soul are ours. New in stock. The 1999 Subaru Forester for all you tortured artists out there who refuse to accept that trauma doesn't make you a better musician. Sell the rights to your masters at Kunkleman Chevrolet, GMC, VinFast, HVAC, Jekyll and Hyde, Subaru, HVAC again. The time to act was yesterday. The next best time was yesterday minus 1 hour. But we'll accept now. So bring your unfortunate ass to meet with one of our sales associates and let us talk you into a financial albatross that will be chained to your neck for the next 2 decades. You already don't take any of the advice your friends give you. Didn't they say Jody was going to break your heart? Didn't they say she was trying to let you down gently? Didn't they say to work on yourself, save your money, hit the gym, and at the very least spend less time playing Fortnite? Didn't you see the writing on the wall when you found the Reaper sniper rifle and still couldn't manage a single elimination? You were getting double teabagged by a Christmas tree and the weekend. Sell a soul to be popular. I'm you. Just to be popular. I'm you. Kunkleman Chevrolet, you have nowhere to be. 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 Get down to Kunkleman Chevrolet, Pontiac Kelvinator, Shinrock Corporation, Saab, off Route 34147, Harrisburg.
A Chevrolet Suburban cost around $28,000 in 1997 or 1998, which comes out to about $54,000 today. A pretty damn good deal. A new Suburban, what are new Suburbans now? Like 80 grand? Looks like the only comparable model on Cars and Bids went for about $14,000. Now that's less than what I paid for Susie, the camera car. Paid $16,000 for that. And I'm going to drive her till the wheels fall off. And I'm hoping that'll be a decade from now. But the Suburban is only a few years older than my 4Runner, and it's still here too. Still chugging along. I don't anticipate that when or if Ned decides to sell that he's going to be looking for 5 figures, but for paying $300, even after parts and labor, that's a deal. Driving it. The Suburban moves respectively. It gets out of its own way.
All right, power. Come on, baby. This thing moves faster than the 4Runner.
It's fairly quick.
It honestly feels a little fast. And maybe that's why people shred their 4L60s. There's more in this engine. I just know it. Just a little more boost. Just a little more timing. And just like Fox Body Mustang folks with their 5-point slows, just a little more, just a little more, just a little more. Oh, there it goes. This rust. I swear, Suburbans always looked like this. If this video released in 2014 instead of 2024, and these rust holes were all the same, I would think, yeah, that tracks. I mean, it's just the body. The frame is fine. It's just the body. My branded umbrella is still fine. My branded maglite is still fine. My VHS tape explaining what anti-lock braking is still fine.
Congratulations on your purchase of a General Motors truck. In this videotape, champion motocross and off-road race driver Rick Johnson uses his expertise to explain the operation of the anti-lock braking system on your GM truck. Rick Johnson, who is not gay, knows all about being in control. He relies every day on his equipment to keep him safe, both on and off the track and at home.
Oh man, I'm glad my disposable camera in my Chevy Care kit is safe. Honestly, this kicks ass. Disposable cameras, I miss seeing these. I used to break them open and take the AA batteries that are inside. You know, after you're done taking pictures, free AA battery. So the Suburban has been a car that's always been here. A constant American presence. This is the automotive equivalent of what Jim Gardner was to Pennsylvanians before he retired. But he did retire. Will we ever say that about the Suburban? Maybe. But I'll be shocked if it happens before it turns 100. Hell, this thing might just outlive us all.
Dear Suburban owner, thank you for choosing Chevy Suburban, the king of full-size sport utilities. Suburban, trademark, was designed to offer passenger capability, cargo space, and towing capacity that is unparalleled by any sport utility vehicle. As an expression of our appreciation, we're pleased to enclose your specially designed Chevy, trademark, Suburban Customer Care Kit, that thing. Its contents include items that could be helpful during your Suburban travels. We'll hope you find it reassuring to have them with you when you're on the road. A flashlight and a disposable camera and a bunch of Band-Aids and an umbrella. C batteries. We are also pleased to remind you that as long as you have your Suburban, the Roadside Assistance Program is available to you 24 hours a day. Help is just a phone call away at 1-800-CHEV-USA, 1-800-243-8872. Whatever the situation, lost keys, out of fuel, flat tire, a trained roadside assistance phone advisor is at your service to get you the help you need through roadside basic care. They will be using Alta Vista to search for tow truck drivers in the area. There's a lot to discover about the great outdoors from the great indoors of your Suburban. Season after season, you can count on Suburban to reward you with the style, strength, and peace of mind that millions have come to expect from Chevy trucks. The most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Really? Really? Is that a fact? Really?